So what's up everyone, this is Pathfinder here, and today we have another Pathfinder's guide on how to kill Zeds. And episode 1 is going to be started by the Fleshpound. Okay, now I do have to warn you that this is a solo game on Hell on Earth. Everything that you see here is just as useful for solo as it is for multiplayer. But keep in mind, more players on Hell on Earth equals more health for Zeds. Okay, as I was saying that, yes, you can kill a Fleshpound with a shovel, and that with ease. The only strategy you really need to know for the Fleshpounds with your Berserker is how to parry and when to parry. Now I can't teach you everything about parrying, that's what you have to achieve by yourself. You can just study the Z attacks or start up a solo normal match and just parry and parry and parry. At least that's how I mastered it. Now parrying will get easier when you reach level 15 because of the skill, which is parrying an attack with a Berserker melee weapon will increase melee attack speed by 5% and melee damage by 35% for 10 seconds. Not only that, but if you parry you will take a lot less damage from Zeds. Now as you're seeing here in the video, the Fleshpounds are just getting demolished, and that's because, you know, if you parry you take a lot less damage, as you can see by the health bar, and you get increased damage. Now if you're not already a level 15 and up, if you parry you will just take less damage, but you won't get the bonuses of the level 15 skill, which is still good, you know. Now the most important thing for the Berserker, and that goes for every other perk, is to shoot or hit the Z you're targeting in the head, because every Z has a weak spot on the head. Now the Berserker is one of the best perks just to kill Fleshpounds and tank hits for your team, alongside the Demolitionist of course, but we're going to get that in just a minute. Now, my personal favorite weapon for the Berserker is going to have to probably be the Eviscerator. I mean, just look at this clip. The Eviscerator just destroys the Fleshpounds, and in 6-player Hell on Earth games, as far as I saw, you need about 4 accurate saw blade shots to the head to kill a Fleshpound. Now, you can actually do a lot more tactics with the Berserker, but I'm just pretty much going to show you my personal ones here. Okay, now the Commando is not the ideal perk for killing big Zeds such as Fleshpounds and Scrakes, but it can still do well to a degree. Now, the only thing you need to know about the Commando is that it doesn't have a lot of health, so if 2 Fleshpounds get you, you're pretty much dead. But you can just target one at a time somehow, just get them apart from each other somehow, and just throw like grenades. And the most important thing, if you don't have grenades, is to just shoot for the head. And what I recommend doing as well is parrying. Now I'm showing the Commando with the Scar and the Stoner, but you can use the AK as well, or maybe even the Bullpup, whatever you please. But in a scenario like this, you're pretty much, when you encounter a Fleshpound, you're pretty much going to have the Scar or the Stoner, either or. Now in a 6-player Hell on Earth game, I would not recommend going for the Fleshpound alone, by any means. Just wait for the team, and when the team starts killing the Fleshpound, you just pitch in and kill it alongside them. Never do it by yourself. Okay, now the support is a very fun and special perk to kill Fleshpounds or any big Zeds in general, besides the boss I think, but the main 2 weapons that you will always have with your support are the boomstick and the AA-12, and you can either have a choice between the SG-500 or the trench gun, but in this case we're just showing the boomstick and the AA-12. Now as you can see here, the AA-12 just rips apart the Fleshpound, and as you're going to see in just a couple of seconds here, the boomstick does the exact same, just with a different playstyle. Now the boomstick has a lot of kickback power. That means if combined with jumping and shooting at the same time, that means you get launched back quite far. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, if a Fleshpound is about to hit you, you just jump and use the alternative fire on the boomstick, you get launched back so he won't be able to hit you. And you just keep repeating that process until he dies. And if you don't feel confident about just killing him with a boomstick or an AA-12, you also have grenades, so use them. Okay, I don't know about you, but when I have to carry a game, a multiplayer game, I'm usually the medic, because The medic has a lot of survival potential just because of its armor and increased health. Now, keep in mind, this perk isn't a good killer. Okay, if I'm in a multiplayer game, I just pretty much go to where my team died and pick up their weapons and roll with them, because the medic weapons, as you can see here, are not the best for killing big Zeds. Now, my strategy for killing Fleshpounds by myself is just to throw the medic grenade at the floor, so the Fleshpound takes poison damage, and while he's taking poison damage, you just pretty much shoot him with your shotgun and assault rifle, or whichever weapon you picked up from your team. I also recommend to parry. Okay, you saw that the medic guns are not actually that useful for killing Fleshpounds. Now, what happens if you have a Demolitionist or a Berserker on your team that just died and you pick up their weapons? Well, this is the result, I guess. Now, the most important thing to remember, when your team dies, you're not a team player anymore. You just go all out aggressive. Okay, now let's get to my favorite perk for killing Fleshpounds, the Demolitionist. Now, in case you haven't noticed already, Fleshpounds hate grenades. They are very vulnerable to explosive weapons, so the Demolitionist is the best counter for Fleshpounds. So what do you pretty much need to know about the Demolitionist? Well, pretty much every weapon for the Demolitionist goes boom, and therefore Fleshpounds go a kaboom. Now, the best thing that you need to do with the Demolitionist is to just shoot the RPG directly at the Fleshpound. It's gonna do massive damage. You're gonna take off like pretty much a quarter of his health from pretty much one rocket if you're in a 6-player Hell on Earth game, and on top of that you can even throw grenades to stun him. And did you just see that nuke? Quality. If the RPG and all the other explosive devices don't suit you, then just go and weld the door and make a door trap for the Fleshpound. It works. Okay, I'm going to split this video in two parts. The first part being this one, which is the first 5 perks, and the next part, which is going to probably come in like 1 or 2 days, is going to be the next 5 perks, so stick around for that. Okay, now we're going to read what the Fleshpound actually is. Cue the music. Everything I'm going to read right now is pretty much off the Killing Floor wiki site. If you guys are interested in checking it out, then be sure to check it out in the description. So here we go. The Fleshpound is a giant specimen in Killing Floor 2. It is classified as a large enemy and is considered to be of extremely high threat. The Fleshpound appears as an extremely muscular and tall figure, clad in metallic armor. Most notably, they have a glowing core on their chest, which indicates their level of aggression. The Fleshpound also possesses 2 large grinders attached to its arms, which is weaponized to devastating effect. The Fleshpound is quick to anger and will swiftly charge into the fray if it cannot get into range to attack. It will only calm down after dishing out pain. The Fleshpound is also able to speak with a distorted voice in a robotic manner. It is by far the most durable specimen of the roster. Well shit, I didn't know the Killing Floor wiki had so much information about Zeds and stuff. Oh, cool. Okay, let's read the behavior now, I guess. The Fleshpound is the largest Zed in the game, boosting incredible durability. While its damage output is not as high as the Scrakes, the Fleshpound is more likely to cause significant damage due to its large health pool and resistances. Upon spawning, Fleshpounds emit a global roar that can be heard by all players regardless of their position. Okay, let's read something I didn't know before, such as this. Or maybe I did know, but let's just read it. Fleshpounds can block gunfire when being aimed or shot at. Fleshpounds have a chance to move their arm grinders over their face. While blocking, they take 80% damage from all sources, and incapacitating effects are only 20% effective. Fleshpounds cannot block when enraged. Enraged. It's like the same word, I guess. On Suicidal and Hell Alert, Fleshpounds do not gain any new abilities. Well, Killing Floor wiki has you covered, I guess. I mean, you can learn a lot of things just by reading the Killing Floor wiki, so I highly recommend you guys go and check it out in the description. Okay, well, if you guys are still sticking around to my little storytelling of the Fleshpound, then hope you guys enjoyed. This series is going to be just pretty much the Fleshpound, Scrake and the bosses, because every other Zed is just pretty much self-explanatory on how to kill. Probably like the husk, I think, maybe, but that's just shooting me in the backpack. That's like the only tactic you can have for him. But yeah, if you guys have any of your own like opinions or strategies for killing the Fleshpound with these 5 perks right now, then be sure to share them in the comments. And if I see a good one, then I will like it and put it in the description or something, I'm not sure. So yeah, hope you guys like this. If you do, then leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, the next video is going to probably be in like a day or 2, but I'm not sure because I have to do school stuff. But yeah, see you guys in the next episode.